Good day. I'm Mike James, and this is Parkitect. Welcome back, everyone. So glad you could join me. Sorry it's been a little while. We had a little thing down here in the south called a hurricane or a tropical storm, depending on where you are. Caused a lot of flooding. Lost some time at work, and so this last week I've been busy playing catch up, working a lot of overtime. But we're back, and you remember last time we were talking about the upcoming release of Alpha 5. Well, that happened about 10 minutes after I posted the video, so timing is everything. Great news here is we have completed our contest coaster, and you'll see that here on the left, and we have posted it up to Parkitect Nexus. So if you are so inclined, you can go on over there, take a look at all the coasters, and give the one you feel is best your vote. You can actually vote for more than one as well. I hope some of you entered the contest. There's a day or two left while I'm recording this, but by the time you see this, it's probably too late to enter this month's contest, but there will likely be a contest next month. But let's get into the real meat and potatoes here. Alpha 5 is out, and man, do we have some just amazing updates. We're going to touch on all of them, show you how they impact the game, and there are some real game changers here. It's not just a little bit of scenery or a minor thing here. There are some great additions that I think you're going to find fantastic. Hang on tight. Alpha 5 is coming right at you. All right, so here we are. Alpha 5. I'll tell you, we've been waiting a while. This one took a little longer than some of the other updates. It took a little over a month, which is unusual. So let's get into Alpha 5 and exactly what the changes are. We're going to look at them here on the devlog, talk about them a little bit, and then I'll show you some examples of exactly how some of this works, just to make it a little more clear for you. First of all, we have a picker tool now. And by a picker tool, I mean, it looks like the same tool you use to choose colors. But now you can choose any scenery that's already down the park. Just use the picker tool to duplicate it. That way you don't have to go looking through all the menus to find the awning that matches because you forgot to put one awning on, or whatever the case may be. There's a tree. You don't want to have to go into the menus for the tree. Just click on the tree with the little eyedropper tool, and now you can go ahead and just put more of those trees down. Whatever it is, a fence, a tree, any object in the game. I think it's a great addition. One thing I do encourage the developers to do is to take that picker tool and put it on the main screen. Right now, you have to go into the actual scenery button. In other words, just like you were going to go through the menus, but you don't have to go through the menus. Just open up the scenery and the picker tool is up at the top. It would just be a lot more convenient if you didn't have to open the scenery tab itself. Just have it down there with the bulldoze tool and everything else. Just have it be a primary tool. I think that will make this perfect. But it's awesome because, when you get a lot of mods like some people we know have, it can get a little complicated if you go back a week and a half later and you can't remember, was that from building set 1, 2, or 3, or was that from the structures? I don't remember. You can just pick it and duplicate it right there. Great addition. Let's just move that picker tool to be a primary tool and not a secondary tool inside of another tool. Next, this is a huge update. They have added the beginnings of a scenario editor. Now, and I say the beginnings because it is really just the beginnings. If you played Roller Coaster Tycoon before, especially 1 and 2, but also 3, you remember they had scenarios. And in the scenarios, you would start off with a certain type of park with some of the scenery done. Some rides might have already been done. And your goal was to, get 200 guests in the park by year 3, or to build a roller coaster with an excitement rating of at least 4 before, the new president arrived, or whatever the case may be. There were, you could have specific peeps coming in that you had to satisfy. All kinds of different things. You could have a certain park rating you had to achieve, a certain amount of money you had to make, whatever the case may be. The beginnings of that are now in Parkitect. And I say the beginnings because right now, really all you can do is set up the scenery and make certain areas of the park already purchased, other areas purchasable, but you don't own them yet, and still other areas that you just can't purchase at all, where they're just there and you have to work around them. Right now, there's not anything I could find that would allow you to create any unique scenarios saying that a guest's going to come and he's going to ride a roller coaster and he has to be happy with it or anything. I'm sure that's coming later. We just have the beginnings of it. I fiddled around with it for a while. It's not super duper. Super duper. Wow, super de-duper. Oh, gosh. What's that? That's from The Incredibles, right? Super de-duper, Dad. I can't believe I said super duper. Anyway, it's not complete by any means, but it's nice to see it in there. Here's a big change. You remember I mentioned this in at least one of my previous videos. The issue with the game was that when you started to have stores and shops farther in to the park, it took forever for people to go get the supplies and walk all the way out to the store at the far end of the park. Well, they've solved that. Now, at the entrance of your park, you see this big building. That's where all your stuff initially starts out. And then you put these little sub-buildings anywhere in your park, and they're connected through what the devs are calling pneumatic tubes, kind of like what some banks use, where you put your stuff and your envelopes in the little tube and you stick it in there and you press a button and it goes. Used to be real popular in the business industry before things like fax machines and computers came along. When you had to send paper all over a multi-story building. Well, same idea here. You set the main building here, gets all the supplies, and then they get dumped out automatically to sub-buildings that you place throughout your park. That way, your workers don't have to your haulers, I should say, don't have to carry it all the way from the beginning of the park. They just go to wherever the close building is that you've associated with the shop that you want to supply. And that's the other neat thing, is you get to associate the shop with one of these buildings. That way you control where the AI picks the things up from, and you just pick the closest one, associate it with it. Real easy. I'll show it to you. And makes the hauling much quicker. That way, it used to be if a store ran out of supplies and it was way into your park, it would stay out for like 10 minutes of real time because it took that long for the person to walk all the way back and then walk all. And by the time he did that, he was tired and he wanted to take a break and he wasn't. Oh my God. This just solves so many issues. It also brings in the beginning of one of the core elements that they advertised in the original Kickstarter, which is that you wanted to try to make your workers invisible to your patrons. You don't want your people seeing a guy carrying a big box of bananas to the smoothie shop. You want that to be invisible. You just want them to go to the smoothie shop and get their banana smoothie. You don't want them seeing the guy hauling in the bananas and hauling in the ice cream and, that kind of thing. So I think that is great. And along the same lines as this, now all of your shops have a back entrance. This is going to change the way we're going to have to start designing our buildings, because now you can still deliver to the front, but better, you can have your people, your workers, your haulers deliver to the back of the shop so they never have to go in the front entrance. We also got some new Oh, here's that thing I was telling you about. See the door in the back? That is great. We got some new awnings. And I say new awnings. The only awnings we really had before was just that one little brown gray one that went at the top, and it really didn't go over windows as much as it went over next to the roof. Oh, we got some new ones. That's great. That'll add nicely to the mod awnings that we already have. And they're a good diverse set now. They made these awnings curved and the other one's just like a tarp awning, kind of like, what do they call, sunshade awnings? They look like they could just roll up and lie flat against the building. So a lot of new awnings. These are all recolorable. They also did some additions to the UI. Now a lot of the UI has help tips and things. I think that's great. Here's an example of that hauler building I was showing you about, where the things actually show up at the little sub building and they go in and get it from there. And here's the pneumatic tubes. Added a new scaffolding. That's fine. I don't really use it that much in my work, but hey, if you do, there it is. Here's some new scenery that's a little bit exciting. We've got some new, I guess you're calling it medieval scenery. We have a shield round and a shield, I don't know, shield shaped. Yeah, I forget what they call that. There's a word for that. And we've got wells. Same well, just an empty well, a well with a bucket and a rope on it, and then a well with a bucket and a rope and a roof. And then we've got some baskets and some hay bales. We've got new path lighting, an anvil, some baskets with top, without a top, an archery target, a little weapons rack with some weapons on it, a weapons rack without any weapons on it. No bows, though. You got an archery target, but I didn't see any bows. You've got this little tarp. It's just like some of the other, we've got some awnings or whatever you want to call them now. This is I believe a fourth one or a fifth one. And some bags of grain. These used to be there was a mod that had these. Now they've got them in the base game. Also, we've added some chests, a cannon, which honestly looks a lot better than the cannon in the Pirate set. But the Pirate set cannon is animated, or it was before the last update. But the mod still works. The cannons just aren't animated anymore. They do animate, but there's a bug where the code never resets, so they only animate once. And we've got some new heraldry flags, and these are all fully recolorable, including the borders. You might notice it's not just the red and the bluish purple here, but also a gold border. All of that is recolorable. It's going to be nice. You're going to be able to use those not only for like a medieval kind of theme, but also for a lot of other themes, just to give things a little more woohoo. So a lot of great updates there. I did want to briefly come over here and show you the monthly mini coaster contest. It ends in 2 days, and we've already got 14 coasters. You can look at them here. There's mine. There's a lot of other ones, and some of these are really, really good. The competition is always great here. I think the voting starts in about 3 or 4 days. I encourage you to go over there, upload your own. If you got anything done, just take a little time, get yours in there. Even if you don't win, it's just nice to get your stuff out there, lets other people use it. So there we are with the update for Alpha 5. A lot of big changes. The biggest changes, of course, are the change to the actual delivery of goods. And I want to show you here, well, before we get out of this one, let me show you right here in this park. I just threw this together to have something to show you. If you click on this building, you see I have one here, there's one over there, and then there's one down here. And you'll reckon, most of you that have watched a lot of my videos will recognize all these. These are all buildings that we have built together. So if you click on this, you notice the associations? See them all here? You can just X out of it if you didn't want it to be associated anymore, or if you want to add one, you just click Add. And if we hit V to look through, is it V? V to look through the buildings, you can just click on the buildings that they're in the buildings. And I've already added them all, but you can just click Add, and it'll tell you, you can just add or remove what stalls or what shops are going to be associated with each one. This one is just serving here and the coffee shop. And then this one here is strictly to go into my food court. So that's how that works. Now let's take a look underground. Hitting the C key. And you notice these pneumatic tubes. You set these up. All you do is here's the main building I was telling you about, right at the entrance. You click on this here. There's the depot. You can just set a depot down. Go to the tube tab. Now you have a tube. Now, because these are underground, I don't know why they don't start underground, but you shift and go down one. then you can just do this and connect the pneumatic tube up. And now, anything you have associated with this, their products will automatically get delivered here. And you notice I have the pneumatic tube going all the way through here. It goes out to this one. It's kind of hard to see because it's under, you can kind of see it there. It's under the paths. And then out to this one. It's just a great way of making sure, it used to be in the old way of doing things, if any shop in this building here ran out of, let's say, burgers or buns, the person would have to come wherever they were. They might be here. They'd walk all the way out here, get it from right here, and then walk all the way back out. It took forever. That is no longer the case. And so now we have a much more efficient way of dealing with that. And let's go ahead and take a quick look. I did make a little building here. Where is it? I think this is here. Just wanted to show you some of the pieces actually put in a park. Originally, I was going to use this also to show you the delivery system, but I think we've covered that pretty well. I'm real excited about it. This delivery system is awesome. I set up these so I could show you that, see how it's associated here. Associated here, I could get rid of them. Click add and just doop, and click add and doop. And the tool I was real excited about that I told you about, that I want to be down here. I want it to be right part of this, but you have to go into the actual scenery tab and see that little dropper. You just click this, you click on anything, click that well, and look, I got another well. You just put down all the wells you want. So that's the dropper tool. I think that's outstanding, but let's take a look at some of this scenery. Here are the new awnings. That's the new structural support they put in there, but the new awnings, completely recolorable. You can recolor them to anything you like. If I just go and take this and we just recolor the awnings. Awesome. I did go ahead. I just put this, I was just trying to make a, what looked like maybe a thatch or a hay roof. It's okay. I think I could work on it more, but here I built a little archery range. I think that looks pretty cool, with a weapons rack. I mean, I guess they got spears, but I was looking for a bow and I just don't see any bows. So, we got the hay bales and the sacks and everything. I put some shields and some targets, and here's the cannons on top of the walls, and I put some of these heraldry, just the hangy ones and the ones on posts. I think these are going to really add a lot to a park that has a medieval area to it. So tell me what you think. What is your favorite part of this new Alpha 5? Now be sure you go ahead and get Alpha 5. I think it's C. I think they're up to C. When it first came out, we were having a little issue with old parks not delivering any goods because it was defaulting to needing these delivery stalls. And they weren't just, people would not walk out here with the goods, your little workers. I think they fixed that. A couple other issues. I've also been having an issue where when I quit the game crashes on me. Now, that's not a big deal because I'm talking not to quit to the main menu, but when I actually quit the game, it crashes. Heard reports from a lot of other people are having the same issue. We'll have to see if they get that resolved. It's not critical because if you're quitting the game, who cares if it crashes, but it's a little annoying. But I love this new, all this new scenery we got, and I am just ecstatic about the new delivery system. I'm going to have to start all over building your parks from scratch so that you can incorporate this new updated building system. They've also increased the performance again a little bit. I think it's just fantastic. Tell me what you think. Leave me a comment down below. I appreciate each and every one of you watching the videos. Of course, I also appreciate you subscribing. And until next time, I hope each and every one of you has a good one.